Now, I thought it was going to be great today. I came here with a shirt. Now, this is, talked about personal branding, and I was going to introduce my shirt and had this full story to tell. And then I'm talking after Jacob, and Jacob has a shirt, and his shirt is orange. And so there's not a lot to talk about a shirt, so I'm going to go straight into this. I do want to say, though, that what Jacob was talking about, personal branding, I think is a beautiful supplement, a beautiful complement, let's say, to networking. He alluded to that in some ways, and I want to just give a little bit more detail about that. First, I should introduce myself. My name is Ron Machol. I work at an organization called Israemploy. We're focused on jobs for people that speak different languages, whether it's presumably in here English, but there's other languages as well. Okay, so what I wanted to try to talk about in a short period of time is to talk about the value of networking, why someone even would like to do that, how to go about it, and then a few minutes maybe about LinkedIn, which I happen to think for many people in here is the key tool out there and totally free for implementing this networking. Jacob asked the question at the beginning, how many people are working? When I work at Israemploy. One of the things that we have is a website where people come to find job opportunities. So the guy that I work with, Chaim, he's not always so happy when I'm talking about things besides job sites. So if you want to get a job, go to Israemploy and find a job, right? I'd like to do a little survey here, a quick little survey. Some of you, I saw the hands, some of you are working now and some of you are not working, but maybe you were working before you made Aliyah. So please, raise your hands. How many people in their current job or the last job that they had, how many people found their job from an internet website? Okay, a few. How many people found their jobs from a headhunter recruiter type of organization? A little bit less. How many people found jobs from talking with other people, family, colleagues, friends, other people they knew?
In Israel.
In Israel? In Israel, not in Israel. This is always true. This is always true. Lawyers are not supposed to ask questions that they don't know the answer to already. I know the answer to this question. I haven't met you because this is the way it happens to be. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't use websites. Sure, you can use websites, but let's talk about the thing that is going to give you, that's in all likelihood the thing that's going to help you get the next job, networking. Okay, why network? There's a general rule of thumb that says 2/3 of all jobs, more or less, are never publicly advertised. And I happen to believe that people talk about 2/3 because that's already kind of stretching what people believe is true. And if you talk about a number even more than that, people are never going to agree with you. But this is a general rule of thumb. Nothing to do with Israel, right? Also in America, also in Europe. The general rule of thumb is that the majority of jobs are never publicly advertised. And that means only something besides going through public forums is going to get you those jobs. And that I'm going to call networking. Getting out of the internet websites, newspapers, whatever they happen to be, and getting to these jobs that are not advertised in other places. One of the wonderful things about this also is that for Israemploy, one of the great things about Israemploy, you can go there very fast, you see a job, you send in your CV, it's very easy to use. But the negative is, if it's easy for you to use, it's easy for everyone else to use. And the jobs that are posted on internet sites are generally the ones in which you're going to have tons and tons of applicants. Tons of them. And wouldn't it be nicer if you could get to opportunities where there's not tens and tens of other people coming in with one-dimensional CVs, but where you come in with just a few other people, you're not a one-dimensional piece of paper or a document, but you're a three-dimensional person applying for a job. One of the outcomes of networking is that's exactly what happens. You're not there with a number of people that you don't know and companies that don't know you, but you're getting an introduction, or you're trying to be getting an introduction so that you come in as a real three-dimensional person. Okay, one thing I would also like to say, and it's been true here, I've talked a couple times at Lander, and it doesn't matter what subject I talk about, at the end when people ask questions, they all ask about CVs. Doesn't matter what. Please keep in mind, this is my opinion very, very strongly. much more important than the contents of your CV is whose hands you get it into. You can have the best CV in the world, whatever in the world that means. And if you're one-dimensional CV coming in with a bunch of other one-dimensional CVs that the company doesn't know at all, your chances of sticking out are very, very small, no matter who you are. And so if you can find ways so that you're not in this 1 out of a million type of case, your situation's better. It makes common sense. Okay, so what is networking? We are trying to get to jobs that are not being advertised. How do we go about doing that? A lot of times people come to me that are looking for work and they have these professions that I don't know nothing about. I don't know anything about these professions at all yet. I'm supposed to be trying to help them. I've learned something now that that doesn't bother me anymore. And the reason that doesn't bother me is because even if I'm not an expert at a particular sector, or even if I'm not an expert at a particular job, I know who is. And that is the people that are doing that job. So the equation is relatively simple. Step number one, find people that are doing the type of job that you want to do, or find people that are working in the sector that you want to work in, and then begin conversations with them. That's the idea. That's the idea. And you'll find that these, as Jacob said also, people like to talk about themselves. And if you can just give some leading questions here, you can get people to start to talk about their experiences, about what they know, helping the poor and new immigrant, whatever it happens to be. But people will talk to you if you take the first step and ask questions. That's especially true in Israel. And one other thing is that even the people that you're talking, say the people that you happen to know right now, not all of them, if you happen to be a accountant, not all the people that you know are accountants or working in companies that need an accountant. But still, those people can be crucial to you because those people can be what you can think of as facilitators. Those people can introduce you to people that you know. So a lot of times people tell me, I'm looking for a job as a computer programmer, and I don't know people in high tech. But you do know a lot of people that know a bunch of other people that you don't know. So if you start the conversation and you have an objective to get to these people, then you can use people that that are not in businesses or companies that are interesting to you to help them introduce you to people that are. Okay, I'm sorry this is a lot of text here and probably maybe not the right forum for it. I'm just going to go through this quickly. What you're trying to understand here, the idea of networking is not to go up to somebody and say, look, I'm looking for a job. Do you know of any jobs for me? Because generally that's the answer is generally going to be no, and that's the end of the conversation. What you're trying to do is learn about the industry. You're trying to find out usually when someone comes here, they don't know which are the right types of companies for them necessarily. They don't know which are sometimes the job that they did is maybe a little bit different in Israel than it was from where they made Aliyah. So there's basic, what you can think of as market research that you need to do. What do people that are doing my job in Israel, what type of things are they doing? Maybe it's something different. Maybe there's a certain program I need to do. Maybe I need to learn. Maybe there's a certification. What types of companies are doing? Where can I work? If you're a lawyer, it's not just at law firms, but there's also commercial companies that can use lawyers. I mean, there's a wide variety of things, and you can't be expected to know everything, but it's not so hard to find people that do know.